Upgrades.
What is going on, y'all? This is Keaton7. I'm sitting here with JVS right now, doing our big thing. We've been covering this latest season of Demon Slayer. What's going on, Sam? How you doing?
What's good? What's good? I'm excited to talk about this craziness that I've been watching.
It's been wild. I tell you, it's been wild. And this animation, man, it never ceases to amaze me. Like, the visuals on it is just so phenomenal. We're gonna be covering episodes 4 and 5. So if y'all have not seen this latest episode that dropped, the Red Sword, stop right now. Go watch it. Don't listen to us talk about it, because we can't even describe what goes down in that episode. But you know, it's apparently this season's only going to be 11 episodes, Sam. And so, I mean, that was 5. So we left off at the end of episode 3. We got some fish devils out here, and episode 4, it just kind of picks up. Muichiro's he handles one of those fish demons, and then he's basically ranking people by importance.
Yep.
As like who he's gonna say. What did you think about that part, man?
So the thing is, that episode 4, I was kind of like, yo, I need to understand why I care about this guy. And you know, Tanjiro had just had a conversation with the episode before, like, you need to think about others. Like, you need to do to others and help them, because they may be the person that's going to preserve you. We talked about this. Like, we know for a fact that swordsmith, you wouldn't be able to be a good, efficient Hashira without a sword. And you need a swordsmith to do that. But this little kid's like, he's about to die. And in his mind, he went back to what Tanjiro said. He preserved his life. And it was kind of like, I love that this character is evolving just from knowing Tanjiro. Every single one of the different Hashira, even some of the demons that are getting killed, are progressing because of who Tanjiro is. And it's just fascinating that somebody as cold, calculated, and skilled as him will kind of get softened and honestly become stronger, in my personal opinion, emotionally anyway.
You know, and throughout this whole show, I feel like the entire time they've shown these extremely powerful, stoic characters, but all of them are shaken by Tanjiro at like the soul level. Like, even going back to like the very first episode, when the water Hashira say Giyu, when he decides, okay, I'm not going to kill Nezuko. I'm going to drop them both off to my old trainer, and hopefully he can help him, because there's something different about him. Then moving on in Mugen Train, when the possessed kid actually goes inside Tanjiro, and his soul is so beautiful, it snaps him out of it. Right? Like, throughout this entire time, I think it's all been about the sheer goodness of Tanjiro and how he just brings out the best in everyone. He's a very compassionate person too. He doesn't even like having to kill demons, right? He doesn't even like having to do that. He he's saying prayers over him after he does it and everything. Like he's too good. He's too good to be true. He's too good to be true, you know. And Muichiro, he's already kind of picking up on it, and Tanjiro's already kind of leaving his mark on him. Like, man, who is this kid? Like, wow. Like he's just kind of picks up. He picks right up on it. And so Muichiro actually changes over, and he goes and he saves the kid. But it was kind of shocking to me that Muichiro even had to think about that. Well, I go back and forth because if we look at the Demon Slayer Corps from a military point of view, yeah, they're going to save the most important people first. But if we look at them as like something like peacekeepers, you would think, okay, we need to save everybody. Right. And I think it was one of those things where Muichiro was just like, I'm gonna listen to what Tanjiro said this time. I'm gonna go save him. But meanwhile, Tanjiro's battling it out with upper rank 2 and upper rank 4, and he's noticing that they've split. They all split into different emotions. There's joy, anger, I think pleasure and sorrow.
Yep.
And meanwhile, also at the same time, Genya, who we saw get stabbed and we thought was absolutely done for, this dude, he just keep getting up. Dude was like Jason Voorhees, like legit. Like that's what I called him. I called him Genya Voorhees, man, because my man just kept getting up with the shotty, just about that action, boss. What was your reaction when you saw him keep taking these lethal hits and just getting up through it?
It just didn't make any sense because I was like, all the different people have different breathing forms. So I was kind of like, maybe he's got a controlled breathing form to, work on his body. Like he can withstand a certain amount of pain because of his breathing. But I was kind of like, bro, no, he either one or two things about to happen. Either one, somebody's going to save them with their blood, or two, he's ready to kill them by any means necessary. And it's funny because if you go back to like the first few episodes, he's exactly the same. Like he's putting himself in harm's way. Like honestly, Tanjiro had to break his arm because he wasn't willing to back down. So to kind of see him in this situation, I was like, one way or another, he's probably gonna catch this dude. But it looked fruitless. It looked like by the end of this episode, like I was like, this man about to die. I was like, he might put some blows on him, but I was like, he can't self-heal. So I don't know what happens, but yeah, it was that was interesting. That's a good segue to the next episode, but we'll get there, I guess.
Well, yeah. So all of that's going on with him, and then of course, going back to Tanjiro, one of the things that makes Tanjiro also stick out besides his kindness is how smart he is. He kind of reminds me of Midoriya from My Hero sometimes, the way a plan will be going down and he just kind of figures something out. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty impressed the way that he was able to get back to Nezuko and like use that one demon's. He uses like a demon's foot that he had cut off to like ground himself to keep from being electrocuted. And like my mind was pretty much blown right then because Tanjiro already has these crazy physical feats, dealing with the breathing technique, the Hinogami Kagura that we've seen him do, and whatever that Super Saiyan form was that we saw at the end of the Entertainment District arc. Like, he's already pulling off like some of these amazing physical feats, but now you also see him doing these crazy calculations on the move, and it just, the way that he was able to get back like that and handle that situation, I was taken back by it. I was like, man, this dude's different.
Yeah, I do want to comment on that because I think one thing that I love about this arc so far is the Hashira that listened to Tanjiro is no different in age than Tanjiro. So it was kind of
That's a
like
good
that.
point.
My perspective changed from, okay, maybe this is very plausible that within a few years or maybe a year, he might be on the level of being the best because he's already got natural talent. He definitely observes the situation. And I think that some people like assess it like, oh, okay, like he's just quick. Like, no, like if he didn't think as quickly as he did, he would have died a long
Right.
time ago, many episodes ago. And so it was like this situation where one of these demons were like flying. He can't fly. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't have a
Right.
technique that's gonna push him or propel him there. It's like he had to take a whole bunch of beatings and scars just for him to line up the trajectory of where it was going. Because like that whole situation when he was like, all right, I got one chance. If I don't wait until he does it, he's gonna slice me in half. And so he had to wait. And then he was still going, getting clawed in the back. And
Yeah.
then they busted through the freaking wall and got to your girl. And I was like, in the same motion where somebody was about to electrocute him again, because he knew the guy was he had that electrocution
Yeah.
properties as well as the other guy that could like use wind.
Yeah.
In the same motion, cut the dude's foot off, grounded himself, and still got Nezuko. I was just like, yo, your boy Tanjiro, man, give him a couple years. Give him just 1 year. I give him 1 year. And if he had some time to heal, bruh, he ain't healed yet. Like he ain't healed
Right.
from the last joint.
Right. He's different. He's definitely different. And I'm really hyped to see where this goes because they keep pointing out certain aspects about him. There's a reason people fear him when they see his earrings, when they see his forehead. It's like there's something different about him that's different from these other slayers. Because and the thing is, if this mark that he manifested in the entertainment district, I haven't seen any Hashira do it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I didn't see any Hashira that were able to manifest that or kind of summon. I mean, we've seen them definitely summon extra strength because Tengen was built different at the end of that last season.
True.
Fighting with his teeth, man. He got a sword in his teeth. Like that was just wild. But there's clearly something different. And I think part of it is just Tanjiro's goodness. Whatever this secret sword technique is he's been using. And then, of course, his bond with Nezuko. Like, there's got to be something different about this family because Nezuko is a demon, but does not kill people, does not eat blood.
Right.
Like, there's something about this family, obviously, that's different. And I'm really excited to see what it is. And, you know, before we move into the next, the fifth episode, which honestly cast more light on some of these things we've been wondering. It was a great episode. I was going to see if there was anything else you wanted to comment on about episode 4 because you know they keep leaving, and they have this way of just ending every single episode, and I'm like, I'm like angry with them. I cannot believe you're leaving me like this right now.
So the interesting thing is it's like the end of episode 4 made me understand and assess the situation. And I brought it up to you even in episode 3. I was like, because they are human, because Tanjiro is a human, he has a limitation. And it was kind of like when I watched him and Nezuko get swatted into the ground with wind and just knocked out. Your other boy is sitting there dealing with a mortal wound and like he's about to die.
Yeah.
And then the only person that could possibly help is leagues away, and the freaking town is getting millywopped. Everybody is in the worst place ever.
Bro,
I was like,
absolutely hemmed up. They're getting hemmed up.
And so I was kind of just like, I go back to what I said. I don't know how unless Tanjiro or somebody else like finds a healing ability, somebody's gonna have to switch sides and work for the good side, because that healing ability, that ability to be able to regenerate that Nezuko has. If Tanjiro, if the roles were flipped, dude, I don't know if anybody can stop Tanjiro. To be honest with you,
Oh, like
anybody,
if he was able to get some kind of healing abilities or anything, yeah.
dude.
But like he's already enduring insane injuries. Like last season, he
Yeah,
took a sword through the a blade through the bottom
right.
of the chin.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? Like he's already surviving all these crazy things. He beheaded an upper rank demon with when he had a broken hand.
right.
Right? Like, and so it's there. He's already accomplishing all these crazy superhuman things, which is the whole idea of the whole total concentration breathing. But some of the stuff that he's pulling off is just insane. And we can't forget Muzan being completely shook just from the sight of his earrings.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's something that definitely comes back again in this 5th episode. So the name of episode 5 was called Bright Red Sword. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was that you get to see another Hashira. Mitsuri, the love Hashira, she pulls a U-turn, of course, and we found this out in episode 4. We see her running back towards the village, but we get to see her in action and for just a little bit. But once again, I mean, these Hashira, they are powerhouses, and they make it look easy. I was going to ask you, because one of the things that stuck out to me about her was her sword is very, very different from any of the other swords that we've seen. What were your thoughts on that? You want to go into that?
Yeah, sure. So her sword mimics what I think that some gymnastics people use, like ribbons,
Mm-hmm.
for certain kind of art form dancing, and it fits her personality perfectly. But I don't know what kind of material they're using, because if she's swinging it around, she's swinging it like nunchucks. She's swinging it around like nothing I've ever seen, because she can hit something high and low in seconds because it's such a long sword. And so I was like, no wonder she's cool with these Smith people, because they probably are the ones that took care of it. And we find out, of course, that I think the chief was the one that kind of gave that to her and kind of made it for her. But I mean, dude, like when she had to go and save the chieftain, and like the chief was up high to the right, and then a couple of people to the left, she hit straight down to the bottom and went through them.
Yeah.
And put out all the things on top. And I was like, she didn't even jump and do that. So she's got so much range. Like she'd be the perfect person for the front lines, because her range just alone, she could take out several different demons all at once without even getting up to them. And so, dude, like she's deadly. It's just interesting because she's compassionate. She's probably the second most compassionate person in this show outside of Tanjiro, which is even more interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely probably put her second, especially since Rengoku did not survive. I would definitely, I would put her up there as far as being compassionate, like being a decent person, because I'm not going to, like, they're soldiers. They are soldiers, like, to the bone. And so it's one of those things, looking at it, where it's honestly a beautiful thing when you see some of them and they aren't completely cold and devoid, because the very first one we meet is Giyu, and I'm not gonna lie, he seems pretty cold. And same thing with I guess I can't think of her name, but the insect Hashira, she's really cold. When she rescued Zenitsu, what she put that demon through, man, that was
that was torture. And she enjoyed it too. But But that's a good point though, because the girl that is underneath her, remember, initially she didn't talk. Like she
That's
didn't talk
right.
to anybody. And then she started to warm up to Tanjiro to
Yeah.
the point at the beginning, I think the first episode, like she was just openly talking. Like she's like, so glad you, I'm just like, okay, that's wifey. That's gonna be Tanjiro's wife.
You think so? You think so?
I
I picked up on that too. I picked up on that too. There were definitely some it definitely seemed like there was some vibes there.
yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, but like so Shinobu, that's the insect Hashira. So Shinobu, that's her name. But the way she was just poisoning and just having fun with it and these dark convos, I was like, man, these Hashira have seen some stuff. And the way they react when they first meet Tanjiro and Nezuko's with them, like they scary. They scary. But Mitsuri, when you meet her, you're just like, honestly, it got to the point where I forgot she could fight.
Right.
Like she was goofing off so much, I forgot that this chick has absolute hands.
Mm-hmm.
And we only saw a little bit of it, but she used love breathing first form, and I was like, okay, okay. She liked that, which and it was like I said, it was one of those things you just kind of forget because she was like, oh, I became a Hashira to find me a man, like in one of the one of the episodes, and I'm like, I'm surprised you ain't got one yet. Like I ain't even gonna lie.
They probably are intimidated and scared, like straight up. Because
Yeah.
even when we first saw her, I guess she was at the bath and she was asking some of them, can they help her with the bath? They were running away scared. So just probably intimidated because he's a hospital, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's going on. Muichiro, our Mist Hashira, he's going through it because finally we see upper rank
Is it
5
Yeah.
reveal himself out of the vase. And he is so when he used his art and we saw basically this statue he built of the corpses, I had to pause, bro. I could not. I was like, man, this is heavy. This is heavy. And going back to how cold some of these Hashira are, Muichiro's just kind of looking. He's just like, it's what demons do. Like he didn't even really seem that phased by it. And at the same time, though, what phases him is when he keeps hearing these phrases because we've learned now he has amnesia. He doesn't know what happened in his past, which is crazy because, like you said, he's so young.
Right.
And I'm like, man, this kid, he has amnesia. He's definitely the youngest Hashira, and he's an absolute beast already. So I'm really interested in your thoughts on how that whole thing played out because he seems to be in trouble right now. And part of me wonders if he would be in that amount of trouble if he hadn't been honestly trying to follow Tanjiro's rule for saving people because he actually took some serious injuries this last episode, saving people that he had no original plans on saving.
Yeah, he had no intention on saving any of them. The little boy kind of was thankful for it. Little boy guided him to the next person that could get him his sword, which I was kind of like, in that point, I was like, okay, Tanjiro was right. Like, okay, he's going to be able to get the sword that he needs because his is dented, it's messed up.
Yeah.
And then he kind of stops them both. I kind of was like, yeah, something terrible about to happen as soon as they get to this. Sure enough, old dude popped up. Bro, look, I'm going to say this. That statue, I don't know those people still alive. He decided to show them, I need to show you my art. He turns it a little bit, and all of them at the same time were in agony, meaning they're not even dead. They're still being tortured.
Yeah.
And as much as old dude didn't, he didn't have a reaction, but he was kind of like, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I found it fascinating because then when the phrase came up, the flashback that I saw, it was kind of like something happened to his family because of a demon. I could even see like a silhouette of somebody. And
Yeah.
like, I wonder who it is. That I think that's the most interesting thing is kind of like why was he attacked and
Yeah.
what happened. I think we're gonna get that, but the sad thing is when that little moment kind of caught him off guard because all these fish started coming out, and all of a sudden these thorns started going everywhere. He was able to
Yeah.
avoid some, and then the thorns started to go at the little boy and the man, and instead of kind of moving them out of the way or dodging it, he got in front of it and took the hit.
And they did such an interesting looky look because I thought it was the man that got hit because I thought he was jumping in front of the little boy.
Right.
And then they panned out and it was Muichiro who took the blunt of all of it.
Right.
And so, yeah.
I was kind of like, that's got to be poison, bro. Like, and he said it. The guy said it. He was like, yeah, I bet you the poison is like eating you alive right now. And, after that point, he dodged a lot of it. But I was kind of like, that makes me feel like it's another Hashira got a clock. Like, I got PTSD from last season. Like,
yeah. And I hope it doesn't go that way for him this season. I do, because honestly, I don't want it to become one of those things that every single time we meet a Hashira and either they have to die or they got to retire. Because our boy, the Sound Hashira, he actually pulled through last season. He lost a hand and he had to retire with his 3 ladies, but he did make it. He did make it. Rengoku didn't.
Right.
And so but these upper ranks are different. These upper ranks are different. And what's crazy is I don't see how they are going to survive without Tanjiro. And I'm wondering if maybe Tanjiro can share some of that power of grow your own tattoo. I'm hoping he can share that Chia Pet move he got, because otherwise they all getting hemmed up. Because I guess I just can't look past what Akaza, Upper Moon 3, how easily he did Rengoku in Mugen Train. That was light work. He was laughing the whole time.
Yeah, it wasn't until when Goku kind of like turned up the heat. And the thing is that, and he even said, like, if you could heal like me, this will be a real fight. You might as well go and change yourself to be a demon, and then we can have this really go out. And I think from that point, I kind of looked at this whole entire thing differently. But it's kind of like, what is the cost here? It's just a weird concept, because even like you said, like what Tanjiro was able to accomplish in this, and I know we're going to talk about in a second. It started with Nezuko. Nezuko wasn't letting go of his sword. He was like, Nezuko, everybody's about to die. I need my freaking sword.
Yeah.
And she kept on holding on to it. I was kind of like, it's her blood. Like, I kept on saying it, but I was like, maybe that's not the case. Maybe she just doesn't want him to get hurt. And sure enough, bruh, she set that man's sword ablaze. And I was like, it's about to go down.
Bro, she gave him the Kylo Ren lightsaber, bro. Like,
bruh, like, and he caught on real quick. He was like,
he did.
Like, I know what color my sword is.
And did you notice though, the mark grew back again too? That mark came back on his face. But the big difference was when it happened last season, his eyes were back in his head. He was yelling. He was just honestly, it was pure rage. It seemed like he was in. But this time he had that, and he was cool, calm, and collected. It kind of reminded me of the first time you see Goku go Super Saiyan 2, and there's just all this anger and there's just this rage, right? Out of control. And then the next time, by the end of the Cell Saga, I mean, they walking around and eating cheeseburgers and Super Saiyan.
Right.
But that just speaks, like, once again, like I keep saying it over and over, Tanjiro's built different, because it seems like now he just got a hold this whole is holding this whole thing down, and he pulls off a move we haven't seen before, and I can't remember what it's called, but it was definitely another one of those sun breathing techniques, and he just takes out 3 of them at one time.
Right. Dog. I ain't gonna lie, that was the most lit thing.
It's clean, wasn't it?
Season so far, because I think that he had a flashback ahead of time. I guess one of his ancestors was talking about like the sword being changed, and he was like, "Oh, okay, this is just like the other Hashira." Like, oh, okay, and kind of like you said, Dragon Ball Z moment. He was like, "Everybody that's been pushing me, everybody's hands start getting on him." And he was like, "It's time for me to, pay back what I owe," kind of thing. And bruh, when he started to use that breathing technique, I was kind of like, he moved so quick through the first one.
Yeah.
Like, yo, he's already dead. Like, whoa. And then he kept going. And I was like, he's moving like a dragon. And literally came back full circle like a dragon. And I was like, dog,
it was cold. It was so cold.
I was so impressed by the animation, how they did it. I was just kind of scared for him because I was like, well, it's 4 of them, Ninja, and I don't know what to do. But this was lit and all, but
I was like, man, all of them about to come back, and now he gonna have to do it and figure out a way to do it 4 times. But did you notice that after he did the technique and the sword was no longer on fire, did you notice that the sword was now red?
Yep, it's changed.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, that's not even the sword that he's supposed to keep, unless this ninja's gonna use 2. Is there anybody else a dual wielder, by the way?
Tengen, from last season, the Sound Hashira, he had the 2 blades.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if anyone else has 2, because we haven't seen any of the other Hashira in action. We know that Mitsuri has the whip. I think Shinobu, the insect Hashira, I think she's the insect. Is it the insect Hashira or the? I don't know. It's one of those. It's something. She's the one that uses all the poison though. But her sword is very, very different as well. Like her sword looked different also. And then Tengen, he had 2 swords, man. Oh, he was cool. But I don't know, because he has this possibly super sword that was inside that robot doll or whatever that's hopefully currently being repaired right now, but the village has a lot of their own stuff to deal with, so I don't know how they're gonna have time to do all that.
I mean, well, your boy that pumped up for it, I mean, I'm pretty sure he keeping that sword safe somewhere. I don't know where he at, but it's just I don't believe that they would introduce that sword.
No,
and then he
absolutely
upgrades
not.
this sword. It's like I kind of feel like if you've seen Sword Art Online, like initially the main character Kirito had a main base sword, and then he ended up getting another one. And I kind of feel like that may be a situation with this, but we'll see.
Well, see, so here's my thing. What I'm wondering is is it something where now this sword is always red, or is it one of those things where Tanjiro can turn any sword red?
So I thought that what they had said before was that the wielder, I forget what they said. It was something about when a Hashira has a sword, like it changes color, but if it turns red, something about red I can't remember.
I remember they said black was a bad omen, and Tanjiro's sword was black from the very beginning. Yeah. They said that like it was something bad about having a black sword, but also this dude that they keep showing on in the past, though, that apparently was just this crazy, badass demon killer. It seems like when they showed on him, he had a black sword. And so I think that goes back into the connection. Also, and this was real. All those demons are connected to Muzan because Muzan made them. And they were all getting crazy flashbacks when Tanjiro was coming at them.
Sure did. All of them. They kind of had like a midlife crisis and just like their lives are flashing for their eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like whoever this dude was with the long hair and the face, the Mike Tyson tattoo, just like Tanjiro, he was different. He was different, whatever it is. And so I'm really excited to learn more about him because, like I said, when we saw Upper Moon 1 in the first episode of this season, he also had those same face tattoos, those same markings on his face when we showed on him.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm really interested in seeing what happens there. But yeah, so Tanjiro handles it, makes it look easy with it. Beheads all 3 of them, but immediately he remembers, there were 4 of these jokers.
Yeah.
He looks over, and who do we see? Genya Polywog holding the 4th one's head in his hands.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, is it over? Did they beat him? But then he turns around and this.
Yeah. The man's drooling from his mouth.
Right.
Eyes bloodshot, like black and yellow. Like he was gone full demon form.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he and I'll let you get that.
Well,
I got questions myself.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions because I'm trying to figure out now. I'm like, okay, so when he initially got stabbed, was that one of those things where he basically it was a wrap for him and he's like, I'm gonna keep going as much as I can? Is it one of those things where he is now a demon, but he's kind of like Nezuko, where he's like, I am, but I fight other demons still? Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on because even before he turned and had this face, it looked like he was still eating a whole lot of fatal blows and saying some kind of prayer and then getting right back up from it. Right. Like my man Beric Dondarrion in Game of Thrones, just coming back. Like, and I mean, even the demons were confused. They're like, who is this dude that keeps spinning back on us like this? Like,
right.
Whose man is this? And as of right now, that 4th one is gone too. I don't think it's that simple because we got too many episodes left this season for them to just be done with it like that. Unless Genya about to be the new upper rank 4. Who knows?
Right. Because he killed the last one.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I don't know how Muzan promotes folks from within. The thing is, we know that this guy, he's doing this for his brother in some way, shape, or form. I'm not really sure the connection or the why, but he keeps on talking about his brother, like, I'm going to do this, brother.
Yeah, because they already introduced that his brother is the Wind Hashira, the one that was so mean to Nezuko when we first meet the Hashira. And I did notice they had the same eyes. Whenever anime characters be having the same eyes, you got to remember it. Like, it's one of them things.
But I think it was when he was at the bathwater, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pulled his tooth out,
and it grew back.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say is that he was already, and he made a choice to become a demon, but he's still fighting as a demon slayer. That's
right.
My only gripe or disconnect with that is he didn't show any features that led me to believe he was a demon. So that's where I'm confused, because if he had, then I'm like, okay, it would still be a little confusing because, like, honestly, outside of Nezuko, every other demon has been sus or like trying to kill or needing blood or flesh. So if he has, I mean, at this point where we see him like this, I'm very concerned that he's gonna try to kill everybody.
Well, and we also got to remember he's the only person we've seen with a shotty. Dude has a sawed off double
Right.
barrel that he's walking around with,
Right.
and everybody else got swords. And I'm like, man, do we need like anybody got like a Barrett's 50K that they can put some of this in? Because we need to, we're gonna have to figure out a way to handle these upper ranks. We need us a Demon Slayer tank. Like,
Yeah, we gotta figure out something because my whole thing is like, again, him taking the tooth out. Okay, that's probably a fang, but it's something. Oh, you know what? I take that back. He hasn't eaten anything in days.
yeah,
Days. So maybe he already had changed. I don't know who changed him. I don't know how he changed.
Yeah, one of the things I thought about, I wondered, is if these upper rank demons, because we got to remember, at first, all four of them were in one body. So what I'm wondering is maybe if, like, maybe they have the power to just straight up possess. Like, when he killed it, did he become him? Like, I don't know what's going on. I really have no idea what's happening, but we ain't seen Genya hardly use a sword at all. He used a shotgun, and now he's taken, like I said, Jason Voorhees level blows, and he keeps walking through all of it. Look, fed up. Muichiro's fed up. He's like, I ain't got time for this, boss. Like,
it's gonna be interesting because either one or three things is gonna happen. Either one, Tanjiro is gonna be able to get across to this man. Like, it's not just Tanjiro's blood; it's who he is. His aura about him is gonna connect to this man. Yeah. Two, Muzan had an ace in his hole, and he's had this kid this whole entire time, or got him real early, because somebody had to change him. Like, he didn't just.
Yeah, something's going on.
Or three, it's got to do with his brother. Like, maybe him and his brother had come up with the pact. Like, look, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices in order to survive this.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, but
yeah, I'm really interested in finding out what's going on for sure. Because I think it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better, and I hope they're going to keep. Answering those questions. I think the name they did release, like the name, I think, of the next episode. The name of the next episode is called "Aren't You Going to Become a Hashira?" Like with a question mark. And so I'm wondering if we're
Tanjiro probably asking him.
Maybe either that, or maybe we'll finally get some backstory on Muichiro and where he came from.
True.
Right? Like, there's no telling what this means, because if Tanjiro were to become a Hashira, I mean, he was taught originally water breathing, but we haven't seen him use water breathing in a minute. Everything we've been seeing him doing lately has been this new sun breathing or whatever it was, like Rengoku mentioned, and like the dance that his dad was doing. Everything we've been seeing him do is that, and nobody knows anything about it. Nobody knows anything about it. He's just doing that. He basically just doing dance moves he saw his dad do as a kid.
Right.
And it's working.
Oh yeah, nah, man, dude. Like, if we really think about this and be real about it, this man Tanjiro just went through 3 heads of an upper rank. And last season, it took him his whole body, several other bodies, a whole town, just to even come close to even getting. But even, you know what? That's interesting, because he did bring that up. He was like, right before that happened, I felt my body burning, my sword turned a different color, and then I was able to go through. But That's just interesting that. And maybe it's got to do with just his conditioning, his training, because he has been going through a lot. He was training with that doll for days without eating.
Maybe. But like, I think definitely there's something going on with this mark manifesting itself.
Yeah.
This whatever it is manifesting itself, and then suddenly he's able to do these feats, and upper ranks can't even keep up with him.
Right. It's
Right?
got to be his blood, bro.
It's
got to be their blood, to be honest with you.
It's something. Yeah, because Nezuko started it by just setting the sword on fire.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing. I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen.
Wait, how did she know to do that? Why would she have done that?
That's another good question. I mean, and the only thing I can think of is that she's also seeing some of these past thoughts the way that Tanjiro is.
Yeah.
Because we've seen her use that art before. Like the very first time she uses it, I think her art is called like Exploding Blood.
Yeah.
Or something. And so she just bled all over this sword and then just ignited it. And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited to get the answers to some of these though. For real. But yeah, any other takeaways you can think of? I think we came in and we did the thing.
Yeah, we did the whole thing. We got some more heat coming for y'all, different stuff. But
oh yeah,
I am really enjoying this.
Man. Oh yeah, this is it's different. If y'all haven't checked it out yet, check out Demon Slayer. Go through it. It's a fast watch. You can catch up with us, chat with us, tell us what you think. But don't spoil anything. I know some of y'all are manga readers, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, let me tell you everything that's gonna happen." I'm gonna block you.
We will block you for real.
I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna tell YouTube you bullying and you harassing. I'm gonna tell them you bot and you spam. I'm everything I could do to never see your face again. I'm gonna do it.
You ain't nothing but a bot.
Nothing but a bot. You're a bot sent straight from Russia. That's you.
Oh my God.
That's you. Russian spoilers. That's what you are.
All right, y'all. We out.
All right. Later.
Filing out the top of
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing.